Welcome to the deep dive. Today, we're really diving in, taking on a fascinating mission. We want to cut through, maybe thousands of years of commentary to look at just one tiny piece of ancient wisdom, Proverbs 20.15. But here's the twist. We're not using the usual scholarly stuff. Our sources are, well, pretty unusual. We're talking specialized visual mnemonics, even an elaborate allegorical court scene. It's quite something.
It really is, and it's a powerful way to get at the core question, which is honestly universal and still so relevant for you, the learner, today. What is true value? Is it that flashy, obvious material wealth, the gold, the pearls that just screams for attention? Or is it something quieter, like actionable insight, verifiable knowledge? So this deep dive is really about seeing how this ancient proverb sets up that contrast, gold and pearls versus knowledge.
Right. And the verse itself, on the surface, sounds pretty simple. Gold and many pearls exist, but the lips of knowledge are a precious vessel. Sounds straightforward, almost gentle. But when we start digging into the original Hebrew, like our sources do, you see the words themselves create this intense dynamic, almost a fight over what precious really means.
Exactly. You absolutely have to respect the nuance there. Every single word is loaded with meaning, with history. That's why the structure we're following is so important for this. First, we need to define the key Hebrew terms, and we'll use these, frankly, surprising visual associations from our sources. Think of them as mental building blocks. Then, once we have those pieces clear, we'll walk you through this really dramatic courtroom allegory. It shows the full collision, material flash versus functional insight.
Okay, let's do it. Let's unpack this, starting with those raw materials, the building blocks. Our sources give these very specific, memorable images for the Hebrew words. We need to get why they chose those images. Let's start with the stuff, the material existence, the wealth side of things.
Okay, so we start with the concept of just, raw presence. It means there is, or just simple, undeniable existence. And the visual, our source picks, is fundamental. The atomic nucleus.
The atomic nucleus.
Yeah, the basic unit of physical reality.
Yeah.
It represents just being there. Nothing more, nothing less. Pure existence.
Huh. Okay, that's a really interesting choice. Why put the atomic nucleus, this fundamental thing, on the side of material wealth as the plaintiff? Isn't existence just neutral?
Well, that's the cleverness of the source material, isn't it?
Yeah.
It's suggesting that the claim wealth makes starts right there, with the undeniable fact of material presence. Before it gets all dressed up, it's just there. The nucleus is its foundation. And then what covers that bare existence? The soft gold. That's the first layer, the initial veneer of value slapped onto simple existence.
Okay, so we have the core existence and then the shine gold. But the proverb adds another layer, abundance. Ve-rav, meaning much or sheer quantity. What's the visual for that?
For abundance, the mnemonic is simple but specific. 4 objects.
4. Why 4 exactly?
The source is specific. In its system, 4 visually represents that immediate sense of more than enough. It establishes volume, right? It's a standard for overwhelming quantity. It's like a visual shorthand for, look how much I have.
Got it. So the message builds basic existence covered in gold and then backed up by this visible quantity. And finally, to really complete that picture of material wealth, we have pearls.
Right, so you end up with this stack. The fact of existence, the volume, the visual flash of gold and pearls, it's dazzling. It's loud.
Okay, that's the flashy side. Now, what about the other side? The concepts around utility, wisdom.
The counterpoint to just being there materially is function,
Right.
Usefulness. The term is u-khlī. It means a vessel, a utensil, an instrument, something defined entirely by its use. And the main visual.
A plate.
A plate. That seems surprisingly simple. Why not, I don't know, fancy ornate bowl or something? A plate feels almost mundane. Precisely. That's the point. The visual choice deliberately rejects decoration. A plate, or sometimes the source uses a simple cup interchangeably, it's all about its ability to hold something useful or serve something useful. Its value isn't in how it looks, but its capacity. It's a direct contrast to that gold cloak just covering the nucleus for show.
But that function has to have value too, right? It can't just be plain. That's where yeqār comes in.
Yeah.
Preciousness, value, honor. And the visual for this, a diamond.
Yes, the diamond. And it's key. It's not just about being expensive. It's about what a diamond is. Hard, transparent. It represents durability. It's the ultimate symbol of high worth because it lasts. It resists wear and tear.
Okay, durability. And we connect that lasting quality to the mind through debt, knowledge. But specifically, the source emphasizes experiential understanding, actionable insight, not just random facts. And the visual is a book.
A book holds the store to wisdom, yes. And how is that wisdom actually shared or used?
Mm.
Through literally lips of, denoting speech, or maybe edges. It's the mechanism, the way knowledge gets out of that durable vessel and put to use effectively.
So, okay, we have these two competing stacks of concepts. The material, flashy stack, existence, gold, abundance, pearls. And the useful, durable stack, the vessel, the diamond's worth, the book of knowledge, the lips that speak it. And like you said, our sources don't just list these, they stage a confrontation, a dramatic collision. This is where it gets really wild, right? This courtroom allegory.
Absolutely. It's like the source material stages a philosophical experiment through drama. He calls it a judgment seat.
Mm.
And presiding over this whole intense proceeding is the judge. The source gives her a striking name, the vixen judge.
Vixen judge. Well, why vixen? What does that imply?
Well, think about chapter 20 of Proverbs, which this judge represents. It's known for dealing with shrewdness, cunning, unreliable weights and measures, difficult judgments. Stuff that isn't always straightforward.
Ah, okay. So she's sharp.
Very sharp. She has to be, to see through deception.
Yeah.
And get this, the entire court is lit, not by lamps, but by the straight, uncompromising light of a laser.
Or laser. Serious.
That's the visual, representing the precise focus of verse 15. It's a light that's ready to cut right through any pretense, instantly. No shadows, no hiding.
Okay, that sets an intense stage. So let's bring in the plaintiff. Material wealth. The concept of existence, that atomic nucleus we talked about, appears in the plaintiff's seat. And it's not shy.
Not at all. It immediately tries to dominate the whole scene. It arrives wearing this dazzling, almost blinding cloak of gold. The implicit claim is clear. Material presence, once you make it shiny and valuable looking, is the absolute core of all value, period.
And its strategy isn't subtle either. It's about overwhelming volume. This is where the abundance kill comes in.
Exactly. The source doesn't just show a few valuable items. It describes a massive, shimmering mountain of pearls, piled up like huge, chaotic waves right across the courtroom floor. And that gold-cloaked atomic nucleus, it sits right on top of this pearl mountain, like a king on a throne made of glitter.
Okay, and here's a crucial point from the source, directly for you, the learner. It explicitly says this whole visual overload, this excess, is designed to leverage what modern psychology calls salience bias. You know, our tendency to notice and remember the big, bright, loud, shiny things more than the quiet, subtle truth.
That's exactly it. Wealth is trying to win by just being too bright, too much, too loud to ignore. It's banking on the judge being swayed by sheer volume and dazzle. It's a psychological tactic.
But the defense isn't playing that game. It's ready to counter that illusion of salience with the certainty of actual substance. So we move to the defendant's side, representing utility, durability.
Right. And the vessel, the instrument, is represented by that simple functional cup or plate.
Yeah.
The shape is chosen because it's designed specifically to receive words or knowledge and then pour out only what's needed. No waste, no spillage.
So the whole argument is based on usefulness. But, like we said, it can't seem cheap or valueless. How does the defense demonstrate the preciousness of this utility?
This is where the diamonds come back in. Our source describes this functional cup as being not just decorated with, but entirely embedded with diamonds from the walls to the base, forming a kind of lattice structure.
A diamond lattice. Wow.
Yeah. And the symbolism is critical. The diamond's hardness, its transparency, it stands for durability. That's the evidence of its worth. The lattice structure implies strength, ensuring the truth stored inside doesn't get eroded, doesn't get chipped away by time or external pressures. It's literally hard evidence.
Okay, so a durable, functional vessel. And the crucial testimony then comes from knowledge itself, represented by that book placed right next to the diamond cup. But you said it's not just a static book. The imagery is more active.
Oh, it's startling, really. The source says this book has distinct, moving lips. The edges of the pages themselves literally move, forming lips to speak the words. And importantly, these lips reject any extra decoration. No gold leaf, no fancy stuff, just the words.
Moving lips on a book? That's intense imagery.
It's designed to stick in your mind, right? Knowledge has to be active, precise. The lips separate the words, ensuring they don't blur together, don't spill out ambiguously. Clarity is key.
And what kind of testimony does this knowledge book actually deliver?
Only verifiable facts. The source mentions things like records of experiments, detailed financial accounts, precise contractual language, stuff you can actually check and measure.
So the essence of observable, measurable reality, spoken clearly, without emotion or spin.
Exactly. And that measurable quality is the key difference for you, the learner. The source makes this beautiful distinction. This knowledge doesn't bring heat or passion. It brings temperature, not heat. And illumination, not light.
Temperature, not heat.
Yep.
Illumination, not light. That is precise. Explain that a bit more.
Well, heat is intense, maybe uncontrolled, passionate, right? Temperature is measurable, specific. Light can be blinding, overwhelming, like the glare off the gold. Illumination is clear, gentle, just enough to see by to read the facts.
Got it. So it's not about emotional charge or flashy displays. That's the heat and blinding light of the gold and pearls. It's about being scientifically clear, verifiable, measurable, quantitative understanding versus overwhelming sensation. That's a powerful counter to the Pearl Mountain.
It absolutely is.
Okay, so the scene is set. We have the gold-cloaked atomic nucleus on its Pearl Mountain sheer existence demanding attention through volume and flash. And opposing it, we have the simple, functional, diamond-embedded cup, speaking verifiable facts through its moving lips, utility and durability offering measurable truth. The vixen judge has heard both sides. Now she delivers the ruling.
And she is completely, utterly unmoved by the plaintiff's display. All that glare, all that noise from the gold and pearls, it doesn't impress her. The vixen judge, remember, seeks genuine merit. She looks right past the volume, right past the shine. Her gaze is cold, fact-based, and she explicitly rejects the atomic nucleus's pretense, its claim to have ultimate value just because it exists loudly and abundantly.
So the verdict is?
The verdict is clear. The lips of knowledge that did not waste their contents, the vessel that proved its utility and its preciousness through durability against time, that is declared to be the truly precious vessel.
Function and verifiable truth went over mere existence in flash.
Exactly. The structure that holds and delivers verifiable truth carries the day. And the source adds this detail about the cleanup afterwards, which really drives it home. The atomic nucleus is literally stripped of its gold cloak and its huge pile of pearl decoration. It gets put away in the court's evidence room under just a dim light, labeled simply just existence. It's reduced back to its bare minimum once you strip away the illusion, the performance of value.
Wow. Back to basics.
And then the judge restores the court's original silence, signaling, the return to quiet truth after all the noise.
This whole allegory really connects back to you, the learner, as a practical tool, doesn't it? This ancient wisdom is giving us essentially a framework for telling the difference between salience, the stuff that just screams for our attention, and substance, the stuff that actually holds up when you test it, when you use it over time.
That's the core takeaway. True value, these sources are arguing, isn't in the volume or the flashiness of the material world. It's in the function, the durability of knowledge. Knowledge that works.
So if we synthesize that, pull it all together,
It comes down to this. Physical existence, even when combined with massive abundance, ve-rav, and covered in gold and pearls, pənînîm, really only achieves a surface kind of value. Looks good, maybe. But true, lasting preciousness, yeqār, isn't about volume. It resides in the capacity the vessel, u-khlī, to store and speak verified knowledge, with durability, with clarity, and without getting distracted by the noise.
Okay, that leaves us with a final, pretty provocative thought for you to take away and consider. If the main goal of all that material wealth, the gold and pearls, is really just to advertise existence, look at me, I'm here and I'm abundant, does that imply that verifiable knowledge, the kind that brings quiet illumination, not blinding light, is actually the ultimate proof of a genuine, useful presence? So think about it. When you look around at your own life, your efforts, your investments, what are you currently treating like a glittering pearl mountain when maybe, just maybe, it ought to be a diamond-embedded cup focused on durable, verifiable truth?